Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're tackling something really crucial in project work. How do you actually communicate best with clients?
hmm Especially when you've got important info to share, like software test results.
Exactly. So think about it for a sec. You listening right now, when you have those key updates for a client, what's your go-to communication method? What pops into your head first?
That's a great question because honestly, the way we choose to deliver that info, it can totally shape how it's received and what happens next, right?
For sure. And there are options, obviously.
Yeah, you've got things like maybe a formal virtual meeting or maybe just a detailed written report.
Or even just a quick email sometimes, though maybe not for this kind of info.
Probably not. Let's unpack those a bit. That formal virtual idea, it sounds professional, uses tech.
Right, but we were looking at insights from Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Casabon, and it makes a good point. Virtual just describes the platform, not the actual communication style itself.
That's spot on. You could have a video call that's super informal, couldn't you?
Totally. So the formality of the style, that's the key thing here when you're dealing with significant results.
Okay, so what about just sending a formal written report? I mean, it creates a solid record, lets you be really detailed. That's got value.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
But thinking about software test results specifically, they can be pretty complex. Lots of nuances, different failure types, impact levels.
Uh-huh. And a written report, just on its own, might be tough for a client who isn't super technical to really get it fully.
Yeah, you lose that immediate chance for them to jump in and ask, hold on, what does this specific failure mean for our launch date? Or is this bug critical or just minor?
Exactly. That back and forth, that immediate clarification, it seems vital to stop misunderstandings before they even start.
Right, prevents things going off the rails later.
And then there's the other extreme, just firing off an informal email or a quick message. Super convenient for small updates, maybe?
But definitely lacks the weight, the professionalism you need when you're presenting potentially sensitive findings like test results.
Yeah, it could even accidentally signal that the information isn't that big a deal when actually it really is.
So the thinking points towards formal oral communication as being the most effective way to handle this.
hmm Formal, oral. So we're talking about a structured meeting, right?
Yeah.
Could be face-to-face, could be online. But the focus is a clear verbal presentation.
And this approach seems to have some real strengths.
It really does. First off, you get that real-time explanation. You can literally walk the client through the results step by step.
Clarify jargon, explain the context.
Precisely. And what's powerful there is that direct interaction lets you kind of read the room, even virtually. You can see if they're following, adjust how you explain things on the fly.
And that ability to field questions immediately,
Yeah.
that feels huge.
Oh, absolutely. It nips confusion in the bud,
Yeah.
lets you tackle any worries they have right then and there proactively.
Seems like it would build a much stronger sense of trust, and transparency.
It really does. That conversation, it's not just about data transfer. It's about building that collaborative vibe, that partnership.
Yeah, when the client feels comfortable asking anything, getting straight answers in real time, especially about tricky stuff like test outcomes, that's got to strengthen the relationship.
Definitely fosters a stronger partnership.
So, okay, boiling it down. For these important client presentations, especially complex things like software test results, the recommendation leans heavily towards formal oral communication,
Seems that way. It brings the structure, the clarity, and that crucial live interaction.
which all helps build understanding and ultimately a better client relationship.
So a final thought, maybe if you're listening,
Yeah.
think about the last time you had to share some significant project news. How might using a more formal oral approach have changed things? Maybe
Mhm.
improve the client's understanding or trust.
Something to chew on. And for a much deeper exploration of communication strategies and projects and a whole lot more, we highly recommend checking out Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Casabon.